Hello, I am VV Cow, and today I've got a video response to Nathan's Gaming. As always, I will put a link to the original video below, and you should go and check it out, especially if you're going to do a video response yourself. These are all gaming related questions, and we've got 11 of them, and so I'm gonna get straight on with them. Question number 1: what was the first ever game you can remember playing on a console or computer? The first game I think that I ever saw was Green Beret, and that was on a ZX Spectrum. But the first game that I ever played myself would have been Dizzy 1, the original first Dizzy game. That one was called Dizzy the Ultimate Cartoon Adventure, and that would have been on the ZX Spectrum. And yeah, brilliant game. Still to this day, I like Dizzy a lot, and I went on to get the Amiga, and yeah, I liked the guy I liked the egg even more after that. So yeah, first game that I ever remember playing is basically Dizzy 1. Question number 2: what was the first game you ever completed without using a continue? Again, it's a Dizzy game. It would have been Fantasy World Dizzy on the Amiga. It was definitely the first game I ever remember finishing, because I remember being just really proud of myself, I guess. But I think everybody, no matter who you are, everybody's gonna remember your first ever game that you completed, because it's kind of a little bit special, I suppose. The funny thing is with Fantasy World Dizzy, as I said, it was the Amiga version. Those who've played it, you'll know that when you get to the end, you kind of think you've finished it, but no spoilers or anything, but you haven't. And Daisy makes you go back and get all the coins, and some of them are hidden. But I've played it so many times now that you just naturally kind of remember where all the coins are, and it's a good idea just to do it as you're playing along as well. It makes more sense. But yeah, there's always one or two that I still struggle to find though sometimes. So yeah, question 2: first ever game you completed, that would be Fantasy World Dizzy on the Amiga. Question number 3: what is your favourite gaming controller? Now, my favourite gaming controller is not from one of my all-time favourite consoles, although it's a console I like a lot. It's just not one of my favourites, and it's a Dreamcast controller. I really liked the controller a lot. It just felt futuristic, and it looked futuristic, and still to this day I've got a few of them, and it's the visual memory unit thing, the VMU, which I just thought were amazing. It wasn't like the PlayStation where it was just this boring piece of plastic that you plugged into your frigging console. The Dreamcast one, you could I remember taking it to school and playing something on it. Was it Virtua Tennis, where you could play a little small version of Pong or something? There were a few games that I owned, actually. I didn't own too many games for the Dreamcast, but the ones that I did own, most of them did have little things you could do on the memory card when it weren't, plugged into your controller. But yeah, question 3: favourite gaming controller. I'm going to go with the Dreamcast just for all those reasons. It's still we still haven't seen anything like it since, really. I loved the idea. As I said, the memory card was just a fantastic idea. Question number 4: would you watch YouTube videos to find all the secrets and glitches in a game before actually playing it? No, I just cannot see the point. Before I play a game, before I buy a game, I like to maybe watch a little bit of a review, or sometimes I'll watch the first half hour just to make my mind up about a game. But I wouldn't go looking for secrets, glitches, or hints and tips before actually playing it. That's just a bit silly to me. The only thing that I do watch that's similar to that is games like Tomb Raider and Zelda. I like watching people do speedruns on those where they use glitches, but that's completely different because those are games that I've played and that I know well, so it's just entertaining to watch those. But no, question is, would you watch YouTube videos to find secrets and glitches in a game before actually playing it? And just no, I just can't see the point. It's especially if you spent money on a new game, that'd be a bit silly, really. You pay the full amount for a brand new game, and then you just go watch half of it on YouTube. It's just fucking stupid, really. Question 5: what would make a brilliant anime or movie? What game would make a brilliant anime or movie? There are a few of these that I could think of, but just because it's a game I like at the minute a lot, I'm going to go with Alan Wake. I think the shadow people or the enemies, whatever in the game, I can just imagine those being in an anime. and it could potentially, if it were like an anime based on Alan Wake, it could be a series as well. That'd be pretty good. But I think it'd work best as just, you know, a straight up anime film. Yeah, I think that'd really work. I can't really say too much because I don't want to spoil Alan Wake or anything that happens in it. But yeah, I do think Alan Wake would make a brilliant anime. I thought about maybe The Secret of Monkey Island would make a good series, like an anime series. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Alan Wake. Question number 6: what was the best console era of gaming for you? I'm gonna go with the 90s because there were just a ton of quality games. Most of my favourite systems came out in the 90s. There were a lot of choice, and I liked the PlayStation 1 and Super Nintendo a lot. And I know I did play the Amiga a shit ton during the 90s, but that were kind of earlier on. Once a PS1 and once I had a Super Nintendo, like the Amiga were always there, but yeah, the PlayStation 1 is still my favourite console. I love the Amiga, it's a great computer itself, and that is probably my favourite, but the PlayStation 1 was just amazing. And I sometimes think if I had a, you know, Sega Saturn at the time, would I feel the same way, because the games, you know, look just as good. But yeah, favourite console era, if we're talking specifically consoles, I'm going to say the 90s. Just brilliant, a load of brilliant consoles, and like I said, especially PlayStation 1. Question number 7: who or what inspired you to create a YouTube channel? Well, one night I was watching videos on abandoned places. And I found a video on an abandoned mall, and I went to check the guy's channel out thinking that maybe that's kind of what he did. And no, it was Lazy Game Reviews, and I found his game review channel. And yeah, before seeing Lazy Game Reviews, I think I'd probably looked Dizzy games up and just watched people play them maybe. But I wasn't really aware that people were doing reviews and pickups and just stuff like that. And so yeah, what inspired me to start was Lazy Game Reviews. A little bit after that, PushingUpRoses, who's another channel I like a lot. Another channel that he's at about 10,000 subscribers now, and he hasn't uploaded in ages, but he were another big influence on me. That's a guy called Michael's Retro Game Reviews. But yeah, those are probably the 3 main channels that inspired me to start. I'll put links to those below, so you know, Lazy Game Reviews, PushingUpRoses, Michael's Retro Game Reviews, and there was a guy called Yorkshire Gamer, but he deleted his account now, so I can't really link to it. Question number 8: what is your favourite handheld gaming device? I'm going to go with the Game Boy Advance. I'm really not a big fan of handhelds, and I never clicked with them, apart from, like, I had a Game Boy and I played a little bit of Aladdin and Super Mario. But to me, with the Game Boy Advance, it was like a lot better than the Game Boy Color. The games looked better. In fact, they looked just like fucking Super Nintendo games, but on a handheld. And although I didn't play it a lot, and I only had it for about a year, I did play a lot of. I played enough of Pokemon Ruby, which is my favourite Pokemon game. And I think I played a little bit of Advance Wars. There were a way that if one person owned it, you could hook your Game Boy Advances up and both play it. I think that was Advance Wars anyway. And yeah, I thought that was a neat little trick because it saved me having to buy it, and you know, me and my friend could play it. So yeah, favourite handheld gaming device, I'd have to go with the Game Boy Advance, especially just for Pokemon Ruby. Question number 9: PlayStation or Xbox? Now I'm struggling with this. Like, I really can't choose. I like the PlayStation 1 a lot, and so I like PlayStation a lot. But I really like the 360 and the Xbox a lot as well. And so this is really hard. I'm probably going to go with... I'll go with PlayStation just for the PS1, because that console alone is, you know, just PlayStation deserve respect for that. If they never made another console after that, like, well, I don't know if that'd... No, that'd be a bit stupid actually. Forget I said that. But yeah, I'll go with PlayStation just for the PS1, because although I like the 360 and the Xbox One, the PlayStation's just a lot better, way more better games for him as well. I'm sure most people agree on that. Question number 10: what do you think of emulated gaming? I think it's a great thing, especially for games that are really expensive, or like if a game didn't come out in your region, I think did Chrono Trigger only come out in like Japan and North America or something, and we didn't get it until like maybe the PlayStation or maybe the DS or something. But anyway, yeah, emulated gaming is great. It's great for checking games out. It's great for playing games that didn't come out in your area, and it's best most of all just for recording. Makes it really easy to capture game footage, and so I've always relied on emulation. So yeah, these people that don't like emulation, I'd love to see them buy a shitload of arcade cabinets, because like without emulation we wouldn't have MAME or Coin-Ops or any of that stuff. We wouldn't have the Tubers I Score challenge. So yeah, emulation's great. Long live emulation. It's a great thing. I remember my first time emulating, that was trying to emulate the Game Boy Color, and once I figured out how simple it was, it was just a whole new world of games to try for free. It were amazing, and although it's not technically legal, it's still something I'd recommend. It's emulation's it's great for all those reasons. And last but not least, question 11: what's the scariest game or demo that you ever played? Now this is easy for me. The scariest game that I've ever played is the original Silent Hill. It's also my favourite horror game, although I don't know, maybe a year or so from now I might be going around saying that Alan Wake's my favourite horror game. But I love Alan Wake, but I don't think it's ever going to freak me out as much as Silent Hill did. I mean, I liked the Resident Evil games back in the day, but I know not a lot of people might agree with me on this, but I prefer Silent Hill to any of the Resident Evil games. It's just not as cheesy, or it's just got way more. It's the atmosphere, and especially in the original game with the fog and everything, which were a clever way of covering up the draw distance on the PlayStation 1. Yeah, scariest game I ever played was Silent Hill. It terrified me at the time. That and the second one are both games where there's certain bits where I'd play it for so long, the first one and the second one, I'd get so far into the game and I'd just have to pause it and have a breather, because it was just getting... It's just... I've never played anything like those first Silent Hill games that have made me feel anything close to that. So yeah, scariest game ever to me, or the scariest game I ever played personally, I'm going to go with Silent Hill. So yeah, great set of questions, and I will put a link to Nathan's original video below. I'm a bit sorry about this video, the quality or whatever, because I got a bit of a sore throat, as you can tell. I hope I'm not coming down with anything. But yeah, I've tried to do my best, even though I've got this shitty sore throat. I hope you enjoyed that, guys, and yeah, go do a VR to his video, because these are a really good set of questions. I'm VV Cow, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.